Hi folks, Jenny here, also known as, excuse me, this is going to be one of those videos. All right, I'm not editing that out. Jenny here, also known as New York on some parts of social media. I am here with one of my one-take tutorials. It's been a minute since I've recorded one of these, and for good reason. You just heard me coughing. I lost my voice earlier this month. It's still not back to normal. I would say I lost my singing voice completely and my speaking voice about 60%. And my speaking voice is mostly back. It's a little rough still. My singing voice is back maybe 70 to 80%. I don't have a lot of sustain. I cough a lot. If you've been with me recently on my free public jams that I do, you may know that already. I won't bore you with all the details. But basically, I need to get a couple of tutorials out before the end of the month to remain true to myself. And so here I am trying to record a tutorial for February so I can get a free tutorial out there to everybody. And this is my series where I try to do one a month for everybody to watch on the internet that hopefully is a song or a skill related to ukulele, maybe something I've covered and arranged, maybe something that helps with playing technique. Anything's fair game, and you're welcome to leave me comments on what you'd like me to teach in a tutorial like this. I did a whole transposition series about changing keys. There's lots of different things we've talked about. But I wanted to get one of these out before February ends, and this is one of my last days to do it. So there's going to be a little bit of coughing in this video. Welcome if you've never watched one of these before, and welcome back if you have. Thanks for being here. A big shout out to my Patreon patrons who make it possible for me to do videos like this. Ukulele is not my paying job. I wish it were, but every little bit of support I get on Patreon helps me take the time to teach and get better at teaching and to share ukulele, to work up arrangements for new songs, and to lead these free public jams that I lead every month, both online and also in person in New York City, which is where I live. So thanks for being here. Even if you never come over and join Patreon, I'm glad to have you watching this video, and I hope you'll let me know what else you would like to work on, especially if it's something I have already covered, because I have almost 1,500 covers and originals now on my YouTube channel, which I know is quite a lot, and a spreadsheet of them so that you can look through them and see if I've done the song you're looking for. I know you have a lot of choices when it comes to ukulele content, so thanks for being here. A lot of great teachers on the internet, many much more accomplished than me, but if you like my style, stick around. I'll keep trying to share things with ukulele players. So what is this video about? For this video, I thought I might teach another song, and there's a recent song that I recently arranged for a private student here in New York City who requested it. And it wasn't a song that I knew, but it came out last year. It's a 2023 song, so that was exciting for me. A lot of times ukulele players are requesting songs from the 60s, 70s, 80s, which I also love, but it's fun to do something a little more current. And this was a Pink song, which featured a band that I love called First Aid Kit, and was partially written by First Aid Kit as well, or at least they're among the co-writers there. So I was really excited to learn it. Kids in Love is, as I said, a song in which Pink and First Aid Kit perform together, and I will link to the audio, at least in the Patreon post that I post for this, if not the YouTube description box, so you can listen to the original, because I actually have not yet recorded a cover of it. But because I taught it to my private student and I noticed that we could play it with pretty ukulele-friendly chords, and I'm having a lot of fun playing it for myself, I probably will record a cover soon. And when I do record one, I will link to it in that description box. So by the time you watch this, there may or may not be a cover out. But at the time that I'm recording this, there is not yet. So in these one-take tutorials, as you have seen from my very shoddy intro, I do not do editing and put up a lot of fancy graphics and things like that. I have no video editor. It's just me. I am not a video editor, and I am here to do sort of a streaming, chatty tutorial. This is not how you should play this song. This is how I like to play this song, and I will tell you sometimes why I've made the choices that I did and give you options for different picking and strumming patterns if applicable to any song that I'm teaching, and take a lot of sips of water so I don't cough so much. But I do have a format that I use for these, and so I will go over the song, how it works, the chords, how they move, and then we'll do a couple of playthroughs at the end. And I'll put all the timestamps in the description box so that you can skip around and do the parts that are most interesting and applicable to you and where you are. Not every song that I teach this way is a beginner-friendly song, and this one is in some ways, but the picking patterns may not be. But you can always make things simpler for yourself if you need to, and sometimes a song that's just a little challenging for us is a great one to be working on. So I hope you have fun with it. Let's get started. Excuse me. I want to show the arrangement that I made on the screen and talk about it for a second. So let me share this. If you want to get a copy of this PDF, you can get it for free on Patreon in the link that's in the description box. This may have some mistakes on it, but we'll fix them as we go along. As I find my typos, I try to get a new version of the song sheet out there, or we'll write right on it if we need to. For this song, let's look at how it works. There is a sort of verse. Well, there's an intro, of course, at the very beginning, just a little quick intro with the main chord progression in it. Then there's a verse, that's the I've Sat at the Bleachers. And then there is what probably you could call a pre-chorus, this line, I've been ruminating, things I never said. That comes up a number of times before the chorus. So we will have that there and then a chorus, but I didn't count that as part of the chorus because it's sort of transitional. So verse, pre-chorus line, then there's a chorus, and then there's what could be a post-chorus, or it could be a little transitional thing that happens most of the time after the chorus. And so I've separated that out as well, but you could think of that as part of the chorus too. If you want to think of the whole thing from I've been ruminating through the chorus, you can, but there may be one time when we don't do all three of those pieces. So it starts out verse, pre-chorus, chorus, post-chorus, I'm going to call it, and then a second verse, pre-chorus, chorus, post-chorus. And then there's a sort of bridge, the "and I will never give up" portion. And then you don't do the pre-chorus there. You go straight into the chorus. So that's probably why I separated them out. You don't do an "I've been ruminating" at the end of that bridge. You go straight into the chorus. And then you do one more time, do the I'm still living there post-chorus. So we do that every time, but sometimes I do slightly different things with my strumming or my picking. So they work separated out on this page. And that's it. It's a one-pager. So that's the flow of the song. There's basically three sections you're learning. The verse, all the chorus pieces, which you can think of as one piece, and then the bridge. There's only 5 chords in this song, and this is not in the original key. If you want to play this in the original key, I've left you a note up here that you can either tune each of your strings up 1/2 step. I talk about that in my transposing series as a way that you can change the key of a song 1 or 2 steps up or down. You can actually change the tuning of your strings. So I've given you that option there. We're just playing it a 1/2 step lower. So you would tune everything up 1/2 step, or you could put a capo on the first fret of your ukulele fretboard. And I talk about capos in my transposing series as well. If you have trouble finding that information, let me know. But I'm going to play this a little lower than the original so that we can do these nice ukulele friendly chords, because these 5 chords are pretty beginner friendly. Now you may be a very beginner and you're still having trouble with some of these shapes, especially that G or the D minor, or you may be having trouble moving between shapes. That's very normal, and all these things just come with practice. But if you're having trouble as a beginner, my recommendation is to play things on single strums first. Just play where the chord changes. That can be especially helpful in a song like this, which moves pretty quickly. And if you want to play it anywhere close to the original tempo, then I would probably suggest that you practice it on single strums first and get it up to speed before you do anything else. So I'm not going to teach you how to play these chords. That's always something I say lots of people have done on the internet, teach you how to play all these chords. But if you do want me to make a video, I have been thinking about doing sort of a beginner one chord toolbox sort of video where I talk about the first batch of chords that a lot of beginners can learn to play a lot of different songs and some of the most popular ways they're put together. So if you would be interested in that, let me know. So let's look at actually how they move through the song. And for this, I like to take the shared chords off the screen. So if you don't already have them on your end, on a screen or printed out or on another device, you may want to pick them up from that free Patreon post so that you can look at it when I don't have it up on the screen, because I want you to be able to see my hands a little bigger as we strategize how to move through the chords as they work in the song. And the great news about this is it is using a pretty popular chord progression. The pattern that these chords do to move through the song is used in a lot of songs. And there's a little bit of difference from verse to chorus and things like that. That doesn't all work exactly the same, but there's a lot that is very similar. And so let's talk about how it works. The very beginning, the intro of the song over again, F to C to G. A G instrument, low G2 word ahead. You're going to go from F to C to G. So I want to set myself up, unless I'm a really advanced player who can play that C with any finger and still get to the G in time. I might want to set myself up so that I can end up at my G from my C chord easily. And when I play my G the way most people play a G, and if you play it differently, that's fine. The way most people play G, you're using your index, middle, and ring finger. Most of us are right-handers, but if you're a left-hander, this is going to be backwards. I apologize for that. But I'm playing it with these three fingers. So what if I play my C with the only finger I have free, my pinky? So that I can move from the F, which uses index and middle, to the C, just with my pinky, and then I've got all my G fingers free to curve them around. That could be a really great progression to practice if this is tricky for you. F, C with your pinky, G. And don't even worry about the A minor yet. Just practice that until you're comfortable with it if you're not already. I'll do that one more time. F, C, G. And then from there, I'm going to an A minor and then back to an F. And that's going to happen a lot. So how would I strategize my A minor as well so that then I can get into the F easily? From the G to the A minor, I'm just going to the second fret of my G string, but I could play it with any finger, right? Well, F also includes that same note, and most people will play it with their middle finger. So what if when I'm playing my G, I then bring my middle finger down here to where my A minor goes, and then all I have to do is move my index to do the F. So that's also something you could practice. If that's hard for you, you could go G, A minor with the middle finger, F. And then I would recommend, once that both of those sections are feeling good, put them together. So that's going to be like this. F, G with your pinky, sorry, C with your pinky, G, A minor with your middle, and then F. And you start the pattern again. I'm not worrying about timing now, just the motion. I'll do it one more time. Here's the F, C, G, A minor. So that's your pattern that's going to wrap around all four lines of the verse and the intro. So there you go. You've got, once you have that, you have the verse. Now from there, we're going from this A minor to a D minor for the pre-chorus. My index finger's hanging out, not doing anything, and I'm going to plant that first for my D minor and leave my middle finger down and bring my ring finger in behind it. I just got the hiccups. To do my D minor chord. So that middle finger doesn't need to move to go from A minor to D minor. And then I've got something similar to something I've already done. I'm going to go to a C first, which is not similar, but from there I'm going to a G. So again, look another chord ahead. If I do my C with my pinky again, I can get back into that G, just like I did in the verse. So I'm going to go D minor, C with my pinky. Again, you don't have to do this, just ideas for you to make it smoother if you need them. And from that G, I'm going to go into a D minor, which I haven't done yet in this song, but I'm going to move that index finger first again and bring these other two fingers into place, and then do the same thing again, C, G. So that pattern repeats over the pre-chorus. D minor, C, G, D minor, C, G. That's nice. And then we go into the chorus. So here I'm going G to F, which I don't believe I've done yet in this song. G. I'm going to bring, similar to D minor, but with the F chord, I'm also going to bring my index finger here to the first fret of the E string. And put my F in place. It's only one finger different from D minor, so that might feel familiar. And now I'm doing basically my progression from the beginning again. It might look a little different on the page because where the A minor falls may not be at the end of the line, but actually it didn't do that every time in the verse either. They were kind of, the way they wrote it out, it doesn't look like it's the same chord progression every time, but it was. And here, let's see how long this continues. So we're starting with that F, C, I'll play with my pinky, G, A minor. Great, same as the verse. Then again, F, C, G, A minor, and it's going to end on an F, which the verse didn't do. So it's a little different, but it's the same chords in a row. You end with the F, and then we go into the post-chorus, which finishes the pattern without the A minor. So you're going to do that same pattern again, but don't go to your A minor. C, G, and then another G. This time I'll make it last. So there's no A minor ending the chorus. That makes it different from the verse, which you often have. You often have a chord progression for a verse and a different one. For the chorus, this is only slightly different, but there's a little bit of difference here. And then at that point, you've done the pre-chorus, the chorus, and the post-chorus, and you've got another verse, same chord progression as the first verse. That's usually the case, but not always. And so I'm going to skip ahead to the bridge. And the bridge is going to come in after a post-chorus, which ends on a G, as we just did. And from here, it's going to go to the D minor. So we have switched from an A minor to a D minor, and we switched from a G to a D minor. So this is, again, the G to D minor. Go from your G, plant your index finger, bring your other fingers around. And then from there, we're going to go to A minor, which we haven't done yet in this song, I don't believe. And I'm going to just lift all the fingers except the finger that's already in place for A minor, which is my middle finger. And then I'm going to do C with my pinky, again, because that's working out well to get to the next chord, which is F. So we'll go the A minor, middle finger, C, pinky, F, and then we're going to do that again. D minor, A minor, C, but instead of the F, we're going to go up to a G, and that's going to end our bridge. So D minor, A minor, C, F, D minor, A minor, C, G, and we lift into the final chorus. So that's the whole song. If any of those chord progressions are giving you trouble, my recommendation is always to just drill that for a little while. Spend a few minutes working on it. You don't even have to strum. You can just go from one shape to the other. Say C to F is giving you trouble. Just put your C down and then drop your F. Feel free to experiment with playing it other than the way that I played it. You don't have to play it the way that I played it. I'm just telling you my thinking of what would make it most approachable for me if I needed some help changing chords quickly. And this song does move fast. So let me tell you about the tempo of the song, because it was so fast when I was learning it for my student. I actually looked it up. I looked up how many BPM or beats per minute is, and it said it was 205. And on my free Metronome app, or I don't even know, I may have paid for this. On my Metronome app on my phone, I looked up 205 and it says prestissimo. It's a pretty fast tempo. And listen to this. This is how fast the song moves. Watching life unfold. I've been a bystander. It goes at a good clip. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those chords are going to change pretty quickly if you're playing it that fast. I do not play it that fast. I've chosen to take it at a slightly slower tempo. But if you want to get it that fast, I really recommend working with a metronome and starting out slower and using the metronome to kind of speed yourself up as you get comfortable at slower tempos. Because as we move through this song, you will see whether you are comfortable with a slower speed at whatever of these options I'm going to give you for how to play it. So let's put the chords back on the screen and just single strum through the chord changes. We won't do the whole song this way, but I want to give you a chance to sort of play through at least the verse and the chorus and the bridge. So why don't we start with this second verse, "You're the perfect father." Then we'll do the chorus, which we'll have to jump up. Well, it's got the pre-chorus there too. Then we'll jump up and do the chorus and come back down to the post-chorus and the bridge. And that is what we're going to do for just going through it in single strums. And we'll do it a little slower than tempo, of course, because as I said, I'm not playing it at tempo myself by choice. So we'll do it slow so that you can single strum through it. And if you're an overachiever, of course, you can use this to work on one of those patterns I haven't described to you yet for picking, or you can try to create your own strumming pattern. But let's start with single strumming, those of you who want to, or skip ahead with the timestamps. So let's try it slow. Maybe I'll even dial down and use the metronome here so you can hear me. Let's do it at 140. So this is a lot slower than 205. It's going to be like this. "You're the perfect father," like that. So get ready. 1, 2, 3. Now you're the perfect father to kids that are mine. So you got married, so handsome in your suit and tie. And you couldn't help me. I'd make it up to you if you were by my side. And I've been things I never said. Here comes the chorus. 3, 4. We used to chase the sun. We used to have our fun. We were two young fools or kids in love. Before your change of heart, before it all got dark, we were two young fools or kids in love. Oh, I'm still living there. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time I'll make it last. And I will never give up. 3, 4. You'll never know. I think it goes up higher. I'll keep on living in my mind still, where our love grows old and just goes on and on and on and on and. Okay, I sang the bridge incorrectly. I'll never give up. It goes up higher. But we did the timing correctly. So if you're playing along, don't worry about the singing yet. You've got lots of time if you don't know the song, and so do I, because I haven't recorded it yet, to listen to the original and get the little nuances of the melody right. But that was the timing for the strumming at just 140 beats per minute, which is significantly slower than the original tempo. Again, you never have to get it up to the original tempo. That doesn't need to be your goal. But if it is, then it might take some time to get there. It would for me. So let's say single strums has become boring to you at whatever tempo you've chosen and you want to do something different. A lot of times we talk about strumming and picking patterns, and I like this song picking because of how the original sounds with some picking on their guitar, but I want to give you a strumming option so that you can strum this song if you don't want to pick. So you don't have to use the strumming or picking patterns I ever suggest in any arrangement that I make, but if you want to see how I would approach it, this is what I would do. Because you can just strum intuitively, meaning you don't need a strumming pattern from me or anyone else to try to feel how the beats fall. I've got a whole video on intuitive strumming you can check out if you want. But if you want a strumming pattern to look at, I would start, because this is a rock pop song, I would start with something that some people call the rock strum. This is not a hard and fast rule. This is just where my brain goes when I listen to a song like this. And I start with a 1, 2, 3, 4 because the song moves slowly. I'm not starting with all 4 beats. I'm starting with just hitting 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4. And I would do that with my chord progression. Once I'm past the single strum stage, if I want to keep strumming, I do a down, 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 down. 2 downs per chord. And the beat is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you could strum faster. You could do down, 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 up. That's what Cynthia Lynn calls rock strum, and she taught me. So you could do that. And I might do that all the way through, or I might do that for the verses and then do something like island strum, which some of you will know. Down, down, up, up, down, up. It'd be 2 per chord though. Because what I've noted for you on this arrangement, you'll see here, is that in a lot of the song, you play whatever 4-beat pattern you've chosen, whether it's one of the strumming patterns I just did or one of the picking patterns I'm about to show you. You do it once per chord. So you've got that 4 beats, but you might think of it as 2 beats because it moves so quickly. You've got that once per chord. And then there will be other times, like in the chorus and in the post-chorus as well, where you will have 2 4 beats per chord. The chords don't move quite as quickly there. The playing still moves quickly because the pace keeps up through this whole song. It doesn't really slow down. But you can slow down. You can interpret this differently than the original. But basically, you're going to have either 4 beats or 8 beats, but you might think of them as 2 beats or 4 beats because of how quickly they move. You don't have to know music theory to play music, but that is what's happening in the beat in case you're interested. So what I've done over here, if you want to look at the picking patterns like the one I'm going to do when I record my cover of this, you can see that I have made a 4 count and I've added the ands. That's what those little plus signs are. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And I've given you some different picking options that all fit into the 4-beat count, meaning that you would play them once per chord on the parts of the song where I've written once per chord. You'd play them that whole pattern over the course of 4 beats twice per chord on the chorus and the post-chorus. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's go through them one by one. I sort of ordered them in order of how difficult I personally find them, but none of them are the simplest picking pattern you could possibly do. So if you find another way to pick this you like better, of course you can. I was trying to get a little flavor of the original picking, but do something that was both ukulele, meaning 4-string friendly, as well as the speed at which this song goes. A lot of us aren't going to be able to do super fast picking patterns. Some of us will be, but not all of us. And when I'm also trying to sing along, sometimes I want to do something slightly simpler with my hands so that I can also be singing it correctly. So here's the first pattern that I did. And let me show you on the screen, and then I'll take this off the screen so you can see my hands a little bigger, and we'll just play a little portion of the song with each of these picking patterns. This one, you'll see, I've sort of tried to line it up under the beats. As your 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, it goes on the 1, 2, the 3, and the 4. So it's going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's going to be, here these ones in parentheses mean that you pick all 3 of those strings together, and then the other one is a single string. I notate the fingers, not the strings. This is how Cynthia Lynn taught, and this is what I teach as well. It's backwards from string notation. So if you know your A string is string 1 and your G string is string 4, this is the backwards from that. I'm sorry about that. But your thumb is finger 1, your index 2, middle finger 3, ring finger 4, and I put one of those on each of the 4 strings. You don't have to do a 4-finger style, that's just how I do it. So when I write 1, 3, 4, I mean my thumb, my middle, and my ring, which means I'm on G, E, and A, and I'm pinching them all together. And then the 2 that stands alone on that page, I know I've taken it off the screen, but hopefully you can still see it on your end, is me plucking at the index finger, plucking the C string with my index finger. I'm not doing it in time yet, but basically it's 1, 3, 4, 2. And the rhythm of it is the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But it goes faster than that, of course. So that is your main picking pattern that you can, or the first picking pattern that you can practice. But you're going to need to go faster at whatever tempo you end up playing the song. So let's look at a portion of the song and see, even at a moderate tempo, how fast that you might have to do that to make it fit. There's a 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I can't even say the and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's going that fast even when we slow it way down. So let's try the first verse and the intro. Let's do the intro into the first verse and then stop with this picking pattern. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3, 4. Oops, sorry. I immediately did something else. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G. I keep doing this pattern. I've sat at the bleachers. It's slow, right? Watching life unfold. I've been a bystander to a sight to behold. I've played the victim. I'm the one who let it burn. If you don't fuck up, well then you'll never learn. All right. Apologies for the expletive if you don't like that word. I try to be as true to the original lyrics as I can be, but maybe I'll put a warning on this that there's an explicit lyric in it. So you'll have some warning. That is the simpler picking pattern that I've chosen. And you could do that the whole song, or you could just do it for a section. Like maybe you like that for the chorus. That's kind of how I started playing it, was a different picking pattern on the verses and then using that picking pattern twice per chord on the chorus. So that's one option you have. Then the next picking pattern I worked with, I was trying to get a little more at the sound of the original. And I ended up doing a slightly syncopated, meaning not always on the beat. For that one, you were always on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. For this one, you're sometimes playing on those ands. So I was doing a G, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. I'm doing it on this F chord. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. G, C, E, A, C. So let's try doing that. Let's try doing that from the pre-chorus into the chorus and stop there. Stop at the end of Oh Kids in Love at the end of the chorus. From the first pre-chorus and I've been ruminating. It's just going to go G, so do it on your D minor just to practice it. G, C, E, A, C. I'll do that a couple times if you want to play along. You could also do G, C, E, A, E if you want. I like going back to the C because it's a lower note, especially if you have a high G, it'll be your lowest note you have on your instrument. But do what's working for your fingers. So let's see, if we come in from Never Learn, okay, we're gonna do it a little slow, but not too slow, so we can't sing it. 1, 2, 3, and I've been ruminating things I never said. We used to chase the sun, we used to have our fun, we were two young fools, or kids in love, before your change of heart, before it all got dark, we were two young fools, or kids in love. I'm going to stop there. So that's a lot slower than it needs to be. If you're going to do this up to tempo, we used to chase the sun, we used to have our fun, we were two young fools, all kids in love. And that may not even be at the tempo they did the original, just the tempo I like to sing it at. So that is your pick one, which actually ended up probably being my favorite out of all these picking options, especially for the verses. I know we just did it in a chorus, but I like that one for the verses. Then picking 2, I tried to get even a little more at the guitar, but it became harder for me to play on ukulele. So here I'm kind of combining those two. I'm doing a 1, 3, 4 at first, where I'm picking G, E, and A together. And then the 2, 3, that's the same. And then I'm giving a little hesitation because I'm not coming in on the 3 with my A string. I'm coming on the and after 3. So you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that 4, 3, 2 comes on the and 4 and of the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You want to play that along with me on the F chord? Please do. We'll do it kind of slow. I'll turn it around a couple of times. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Wait. Wait. So another syncopated, like you're not coming in on that 3rd beat, which we've done on every other one of these picking patterns so far. So when you get that up to speed, it can be kind of hard to keep that going and sing at the same time, which is what I was finding when I was trying to do it. Of course you could get it with practice, or maybe it's really easy for you right off the bat, which is awesome. Let's see, so let's do. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to try to go from the post-chorus into the second verse and see how this works. It may fall apart because frankly, this one I found the trickiest of all of them for me to do because it's a picking pattern I don't play very often, but I like the sound of it compared to the original, so I gave it to my student and for myself and for you as an option. So you'll do 1, oh, I, still lit, no, oh, I, still living there. This time I'll make it last. Now you're the perfect father to kids that aren't mine. So you got married, so handsome in your suit and tie, and you couldn't help me. I make it up to you if you were by my side. Almost got it. Let's go into a chorus with this one and just see how it sounds. Not the pre-chorus, we'll just go to the regular chorus. Let's get going with the F first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. We used to chase the sun. We used to have our fun. We were two young fools, or kids in love. Before your change of heart, before it all got dark, we were two young fools, or kids in love. Oh, okay, that fell apart there. So that picking pattern I like, but it would take me a lot of practice to do. So when I do my cover, I'm probably not going to use that picking pattern. But again, if you listen to the original and you hear how much picking is going on in the guitar, that one might appeal to you. But again, also, this song goes really fast. It may go too fast if you're singing along. If I were playing for someone else singing, I might do that picking pattern. But if I'm going to do both with my brain at the same time, play and sing, I might simplify it a little bit until I'm super comfortable with this song. Not making excuses for myself. I'm just saying it's fine to adapt and adjust an arrangement, whether you're making it for yourself or using someone else's, if it makes it easier for you to play it. Depending on whether you're singing along or not, that can really affect things. All right, so now let's look at the final picking pattern I've given here, which is a Travis style. I've done several videos with Travis style picking patterns. Of course, we don't have 6 strings like most of us. Some people have a 6-string ukulele. I don't. And so most of us have a 4-string ukulele and doing a Travis style. This is the most common Travis adaptation I see for ukulele players who have 4 strings. And very simply, very quickly, but I can give you another video with more Travis picking in it if you need one. I did Dust in the Wind with Travis picking for my Patreon patrons. I think it was for patrons. It might be public. Let me know in the comments if you want help finding that. I'll figure out where that video is, or you can just look on my song index spreadsheet. But basically, you're plucking your 2 outer strings at the same time, G and A together, and then you're doing what I call inside, outside, inside. I'm sure I learned it from someone. I didn't make that up. But you're playing C-E, that's inside, G-A, that's outside, and then back to C-E, inside again. So the only beat you're not playing, if you look up here on the screen, is the and of 1, meaning you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But that first 1 and 4 together, you hold for the whole beat. Instead of doing 2 things on it, you're just doing 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That sounds like this on the strings. I'll just do it on the C chord. 1 and. And you immediately start it over again when you get to the end with any of these patterns. And this is a nice picking pattern for 4-beat songs, for 4-beat patterns. But again, because this song moves so quickly, you might have to move it fast. Let's take it a little slower than that and play it together in case you want to practice Travis picking. And let's just go back to that first verse, because it's the most straightforward of all the timing of the singing in this song. We'll do it slower than you would want to sing this song, but I'll do my best to sing along. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've sat at the bleachers, watching life unfold. I've been a bystander to a sight to behold. I've played the victim, I'm the one who let it burn. If you don't forget, well then you'll never learn. And I've been ruminating things I never said. Let's do the chorus too. You'll hear 2 patterns on this. We used to chase the sun. We used to have our fun. We were 2 young fools or kids in love. Before your change of heart, before it all got dark, we were 2 young fools or kids in love. And the chorus. So I'm still living there. Another pattern. This time I'll make it last. All right, so you'll see a couple times I do that. I put a little single slash after a chord. That's a single strum or a single pick, meaning you can pluck all the strings together or you can strum down on those. I like those at a couple of places in this song. At the This Time I'll Make It Last there, and also the final one in the song, and also Things I Never Said before the second time through the chorus, because of where they are in the original. Those are moments that like hang in the air is how I think of them. And it's a cool dramatic moment, and so I've sort of replicated it from the original, but you could put them in other places or leave them out and just play through the beats of those spots. So those are my picking options that I gave myself. I really find myself gravitating toward pick 1 for the verse and then the simpler pick for the chorus, especially when I'm playing along with the original with my capo on or my strings tuned up. If I'm trying to get it up to speed, playing the chorus with that simpler picking pattern makes it more doable for me. But your mileage may vary, and you may never want to get it that fast, and that's okay too. But those are what I'm doing. Of course, you can strum this song, as we already talked about, on single strums or other patterns. You could, as I said, you could experiment with island strum. It's not going to give you the sound of the original, but because you have 4 beats here, you can pretty much do any 4-beat pattern you want. And if you like the way it sounds, that's perfectly a valid choice. So make it work for you, as I say far too often. Let's play through this a couple times. That's how I like to end these tutorials. I like to play it through once, a little slower, a little more beginner friendly on the with the chords on the screen. And then I like to play it through once with the chords not on the screen, so you can see my hands if you want to, and I'll play it a little faster and a little more advanced beginner or intermediate, depending on the song, just a little bit more to do a little bit harder options. So for the first playthrough with the chords on the screen, I'm going to do strumming. I'm going to do that rock strum. And I'm going to build it around down, 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 up. But when I need to, I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And I may do that for a change of sound, or I may do that because it's moving too fast and I need to slow it down. I am going to do the song slower than it goes, but not super slow, because I want us to be able to feel like the song's moving forward. I don't want us to get stuck in the mud. But if you need to slow me down because you're not this fast yet, that's fine. No shame in that. And you can slow me down under the gear icon of the YouTube video. You can choose playback speed and slow it way down. So slow it as far down as you need to. The singing might sound weird, but that doesn't matter. So let's talk about this tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've sat at the bleachers watching life unfold. I've been a bystander to a sight to behold. I play the victim, I'm the one who let it burn. If you don't fuck up, well then you'll never learn. And I've been through many things I never said. We used to chase the sun, we used to have our fun. We were 2 young fools or kids in love. Before your change of heart, before it all got dark, we were 2 young fools or kids in love. Oh, I'm still living there. Single strum coming up, here it comes. This time I'll make it last. Now you're the perfect father to kids that aren't mine. So you got married, so handsome in your suit and tie, and you couldn't help me. I'd make it up to you if you were by my side. And I've been through many tears. end of the song. I love how the ending kind of sneaks up on you and then just hangs in the air like that. All right, we made it through. How did that feel to you? Let me know in the comments. Do you like the strumming version better than the picking one? Let's try picking next. If you're not up for that, you can go ahead and end this video now or skip ahead to the outro. But I'm going to stop sharing this on the screen and play this so you can see my hands move, if that's helpful to you. I'm going to do the picking pattern 1, 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, if you're talking about the fingers. I'm going to do that for the verses, but for the chorus, I'm going to do the simpler picking pattern, which is 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But you can think of it as 1 and 2 and if you want. It's just technically you've got 4 beats there, but they go fast. So we'll do this a little faster too, a little more up to tempo. See if I can get through it without coughing. I'm really looking forward to getting my voice back fully. All right, it's cramping my style. Let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not actually the 4 beats, sorry. I tried to count you in creatively. I've sat at the bleachers, watching life unfold. I've been a bystander, to a side to behold. I played the victim, I'm the one who let it burn. If you don't fuck up, well then you'll never learn. And I've been ruminating things I never said. We used to chase the sun, we used to have our fun. We were two young fools or kids in love. Before your change of heart, before it all got dark, we were two young fools or kids in love. Oh, I'm still living there. This time I'll make it last. Now you're the perfect father, 2 kids that are mine. So you got married, so handsome in your suit and tie, and you couldn't help me. I'd make it up to you if you weren't by my side. And I've been ruminating things I never said. 1, 2, 3, 4. We used to chase the sun, we used to have our fun. We were two young fools or kids in love. Before your change of heart, before it all got dark, we were two young fools or kids in love. Oh, I'm still living there. This time I'll make it last, bridge, and I will never give up. You can do any pecking pattern here. You'll never know. I keep trying to go up there. I'll keep living in my mind still, where love grows old and just goes on and on and on and on. And we used to chase the sun, we used to have our fun. We were two young fools or kids in love. Before your change of heart, before it all got dark, we were two young fools or kids in love. Oh, I'm still living there. Here comes a single plot. 3, 4. This time I'll make it last. Debrief. Playing that, I thought I would probably do a different picking pattern for the bridge so that I could then come back to that chorus picking pattern again. So whether I would do, maybe I'd do something like Travis, I will never give up. That might be a nice change of speed. I'm not speed literally. change of tone to do a different picking pattern there than I've done anywhere else in the song. So I might do that when I make my cover. We'll see. So let's see. What tempo are we? I think we're even a little slower than the 140. I sat at the bleachers, watching life unfold. I found a bystander, to a sight to behold. It is hard to play with a metronome, which is exactly why we should do it more. But let me just go back up to 205 so you can hear how much slower I was than that. I sat at the bleachers, watching life unfold. I found a bystander, to a sight to behold. I played the victim, I'm the one who let it burn. If you don't fuck up, well then you'll never learn. So it's hard not to panic when you're playing it at that speed if you haven't practiced it a lot. So of course you can get to that speed. You may already be there. You may already be a good enough player. You can play that speed already. But if you're not, it just takes practice. Almost everything in ukulele, when someone says, how do I do this? The answer is almost always practice, which can be annoying, but is also true. So thanks so much for being here. That's the end of this tutorial. Let me know what song you want to learn next this way. If you're a Patreon patron and you're watching this immediately after I posted it, I've got another one coming for you this month that'll be just for patrons. I have a few ideas. I'm not sure which one it'll be, but I'm going to get it recorded hopefully before the end of tomorrow, since that's the last day of February. If you're watching this much later, there's lots and lots of other tutorials for you to watch. And I hope you'll check out my song index spreadsheet if you want to see more of what's out there, both for free and for Patreon patrons. Got lots of goodies for Patreon patrons coming this year too. I just thank you so much for being here. This is so much fun for me to do. Patrons make it possible, but everybody makes it happen for me. So even if you're never a Patreon patron, I appreciate you. I thank you. And I hope I will see you again soon on the internet. Bye, folks.